Well, you heard the experts, but this is what some of India's 800 million cell phone users feel about this study.
फोन का यूजेज कम करना तो डिफिकल्ट ही है, फिर भी अभी डिपेंडेंसी इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है।
सेल फोन से ट्रांसफ़र करके घर के टेलीफोन के ऊपर उसका नंबर ट्रांसफ़र कर लेंगे, कम से कम इस्तेमाल कर लेंगे सेल फोन का।
रिपोर्ट तो मैंने पढ़ी नहीं है, बाकी मुझे लगता नहीं है कि ऐसा होता है। शायद मैंने तो हार्ट का सुना था, ब्रेन का तो मैंने सुना नहीं शायद आज तक।
प्रिकॉशन अगर WHO बता देंगे तो ले लेंगे।
टाटा ने जब अपना बिजनेस शुरू किया तब ना कोई मोबाइल था, तो बिना मोबाइल के अगर ये लोग इतने बड़े आदमी हो सकते हैं, तो आज के ज़माने में जो लोग कहते हैं कि इसके बिना काम नहीं चल सकता है, ये नेसेसिटी है, बेकार की बात है बिल्कुल।
So mixed reactions there to this study by the World Health Organization. Well, joining us on the 9 o'clock news tonight, a very special panel. We're joined first from France by Dr. Christopher Wild, who's the director of the International Agency for Research on Cancer, which is really the source of this report by the World Health Organization. Also joining us tonight is Mr. Dinesh Trivedi. He is the Minister of State for Health. We'll be speaking to him shortly. We're also joined by Dr. J.S. Sarma, the Chairman of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. We're joined by Dr. Anushil Munshi, the Associate Professor in the Department of Radiation Oncology at Tata Memorial, and Dr. R. Sharma, Senior Scientist at the Indian Council for Medical Research, joins us as well. I'd like to go to Mr. Trivedi first, the Minister of State for Health. Mr. Trivedi, how does the Health Ministry officially react to this report?
No, there are two issues. One is the same WHO previously mentioned that there is no relationship between brain cancer and use of cell phones. So my point is, rather than depending on anybody else, I think our Indian scientists are absolutely first class. So what I did, I told to our own scientists, CMRI, and they themselves are doing the research since last year. They have met more than 12 times under Dr. Sharma, and AIMS is involved with this. So we are doing research, not only the use of cell phone and the towers related to cancer, it's also reproductive system, neuro disorders. So it is absolutely on a wide range. As far as this particular report is concerned, this is still in a research stage.
Well, what I wanted to really ask you is whether you think then that this WHO report is a bit alarmist. Do you think it is too premature to be linking cell phones to cancer?
No, if they have said, I'm sure they must have also said based on whatever research they have done so far. But my point is very simple. Moderation in life is always good. We do not know what kind of electromagnetic radio frequency the cell phone emits. And I can tell you, I'm not an expert in this area. But common sense tells me that even when we overuse cell phones, our ears get heated up because the cell phone gets heated up. So obviously, everything in moderation may not be bad. But I think we'll have to wait for a conclusive evidence one way or the other.
And then what's the feedback, if any, at all, from our own research team, although it may be too early to even ask that question?
No, Nidhi, this is really quite involved thing. You know, it takes years together. Like for WHO, it has taken them 10 years to come to a report which is still not conclusive. And that report also said there is no link. So to answer that question, this research really take a very long time. But the downside of it is, while the research takes such a very long time, in the meantime, supposing God forbid, if it is true, then the damage has already been done. This particular glioma, it is called, it's a particular type of brain cancer. I mean, if the report, God forbid, says that yes, it's true, then the damage has already been done. So again, I will say, as far as I as an individual is concerned, it's always nice to take precaution and use cell phone sparingly. These days, especially the youngsters, I mean, they are on cell phone for hours together. It may be very good for the cell phone companies. But I personally feel that one needs to do it only on need basis, and precaution is always better than cure.
Well, I can tell you maybe many parents would agree with you as well and say it's good if their kids stop talking on the phone so much. Mr. Trivedi, thanks for joining us tonight. I wanted to first quickly go to Dr. Anushil Munshi, who's with Tata Memorial. Dr. Munshi, is there any reason for people to be worried by what the WHO has said? Or are we jumping the gun?
I think if we say something now categorically, it would be jumping the gun. What the report tells us right now is something which the scientific community at least knew for a long time, I would say. So for quite some time, we knew that there was some kind of an evidence, although not very conclusive, that cell phones could be linked to brain tumors and in a few reports parotid tumors and so on. But however, no report or no series of reports have conclusively told us the results in one direction, categorically saying that they do really cause. So presently saying that they do cause would be jumping the gun. I think we should wait for long-term results. We should wait for the studies that are done in Indian context, and then only we would be reaching to a conclusion in this regard. All the same, it would not be wrong to take precautions at this stage.
And what precautions would those be? Well, I mean, if you had 3 things to advise people today in terms of precautions, what would that be? Don't speak on the phone.
Nidhi, I could list a few, but the important ones would be minimizing. Use your regular landline for most of your talking. Use your cell phones only when you really need to talk on a cell phone. The situation demands it. Alternate your the ear you use for talking. Plug-in devices can be used whenever appropriate. Try to see and minimize the use in children, especially because their bones are pretty thin compared to an adult, and so the chances of damage, if it indeed would cause damage, as we would know after some time, then that risk would be higher in children. So these are the few tips I would give to the people who are more concerned.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.